Good morning. My name is Lynn April. I'm the Regional Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator for CESA 8, and I'm here to discuss youth apprenticeship options in your school district. So if you're the type of student who doesn't necessarily learn best by reading a textbook or listening to a lecture, but instead you learn best when you're involved in something more hands-on, or if you're a student interested in pursuing a career right out of high school or in completing industry certifications and technical college degrees, or even if you're interested in a four-year degree in a field like medicine or engineering, but you'd love to have some firsthand experience in the field to make sure that it's the right one for you, then youth apprenticeship may be for you. So the Youth Apprenticeship Program is a unique opportunity for juniors and seniors to start preparing for a career while still in high school. And when we say juniors and seniors, we mean directly after your junior year. So as soon as you're done with your sophomore year and graduation is passed, you can start working in a youth apprenticeship, gathering hours toward your 450 hours of youth apprenticeship for the year and getting paid to do it. There are a lot of benefits to being a youth apprentice. The first, of course, is earning a paycheck while you're learning from skilled professionals. Any youth apprenticeship student is hired as an employee at that particular place of business, and you will be receiving at least minimum wage, if not more, along with other worksite benefits while you are learning with that particular business. You'll experience firsthand connections between what you're learning in your high school classes and what you're doing for real life work. You'll actually be taking at least one semester of class each semester while you are doing a youth apprenticeship that connects directly with what you're learning on the job. It increases career awareness and improves future employability. You'll receive at the end of each year a state-issued certificate of occupational proficiency that's recognized by employers. And while you're out there learning, you'll also be developing the necessary skills needed for successful entry-level employment. You'll create great networks of contacts in your career field. So when you are out looking for a job, either right after high school or perhaps after you've done some post-secondary education, you now have networks that you can call back on in order to get into your chosen field. And it allows you to build up your resume with real-world on-the-job experience. So there are some requirements for eligibility for students who are interested in doing youth apprenticeship. The first is that you have to be, again, enrolled as either a junior or a senior within your district. And if you are a senior now and you didn't know about it before, you can still do a one-year program as a senior. And this starts immediately after your sophomore year if you are a junior. You do need to be work ready, so there are a number of recommendations that you're going to have to gather as part of your application from a teacher, from your school counselor, and from one other adult in the community to show that, yes, you have developed those good attitudes and habits and behaviors for the job. You have to be enrolled in an educational program that correlates with youth apprenticeship. So as I said, you're going to be taking one semester of classes as you are doing your youth apprenticeship each semester. That class will tie in with what you're learning on the job. You're going to have a variety of individuals who are supporting you while you're in your youth apprenticeship. That includes your supervisory teacher. Usually that's a career and technical education teacher, the school counselor, the principal, your employer, and the regional YA coordinator will all be there and in contact with you as you're going through youth apprenticeship. And you have to have participated in your school's academic and career planning program, which all students are required to do anyway. But the youth apprenticeship program wants to make sure that you have done some investigating into careers and that the job that you're going to have as part of your youth apprenticeship is really one that you're interested in pursuing as you graduate from high school. So there are a variety of youth apprenticeship program areas that you can do your youth apprenticeship in. And I'm going to click into this so that we can get into the document and take a look at each of the different areas. So of the 16 career clusters, 11 of them have alignment to youth apprenticeship. And each one of the program areas also has different pathways. So each year that you're in the program, you may be there are some programs that it's a 2-year program for the entire pathway, and there are many of the pathways that are completed within a year or even within a semester. So if you're interested in agriculture, for example, you have your choice of the pathways of animals, plants, environmental systems, or power structure and technical systems. If you are interested in arts and AV, the two pathways that are approved so far are graphic design and press. For health, there are a variety of different pathways, including dental assistant, medical assistant, nursing assistant, pharmacy tech, medical office, and ambulatory support. If you're interested in IT, there's general IT and IT essentials, along with network systems and hardware, programming and software, and web and digital communications. If you're interested in marketing, the different pathways include professional sales, merchandising, communications, research, and management. For transportation, we have logistics, auto collision, auto technician, and diesel technician. In construction, there are a variety. So you've got design and pre-construction, as well as carpentry, electrical, masonry, mechanical, and plumbing. For the finance pathways, we have accounting, banking, and insurance. In hospitality, you've got restaurant, food and beverage, lodging, reservations and tour activity, meetings and events, maintenance and grounds, marketing and sales, specifically around hospitality, and management. For manufacturing, and we have a lot of manufacturing in Northeast Wisconsin, you have your choice of production in assembly and packaging, manufacturing processes, machining, welding, production operation management, and maintenance and installation. And for STEM, we've got engineering, both drafting, mechanical, and civil engineering, and then bioscience lab foundations. So each one of these programs, if you choose a particular program and you find, for example, that you are interested in manufacturing and you start out in assembly and packaging, and during the course of the year, through the different checklists, and I'll show you those in a minute, and the different skills that you're learning, you realize that you're very interested in machining and you want to switch to that program area or that pathway, that within the same program area is allowable. But once you have chosen a program, you can't jump into a different program within the year. You need to complete all of the specifications for that particular program before you would move to a different program for your senior year, for example. So just because you've chosen a program, however, doesn't mean that that is your only option at that place of employment. For example, like I said, we have a lot of manufacturing in Northeast Wisconsin. Well, you might do one of those 6 manufacturing pathways, but if you choose a manufacturer that has a very robust IT department, for example, you might be at a manufacturer, but doing one of those IT certifications. Same thing goes with marketing. Marketing is a fairly new area, and so you might be at a manufacturer that has a big marketing department, and you might be doing marketing at a manufacturer, but marketing would still be your content area. And finance works the same way. You might be at a manufacturer, but accounting is really what your focus is, so you're doing that certification at a manufacturer. So just by looking at this, you can see that one employer could have students in a variety of different program areas, all at the same place of employment, depending on what they are willing to offer and what they have available for their work-based mentors, which you will be assigned to. So there are some responsibilities that you have as a youth apprentice. The biggest one is that you are completing 450 hours of work-based learning every year. 200 of those hours can be during the summer. So that's why we say it's right after your sophomore year. If you get your application in and we get you lined up with an employer, you can put 200 of those hours in during the summer already and get paid for them and be working on your checklist before school even starts. And then the other 250 hours of work-based learning you would do at your place of employment, along with the 2 semesters of classes that you would take either at your school or at a technical college or online, which supports what you're learning at your business. If you want to get a 2-year certification, that's 900 hours over the course of 2 years. So that would be available for students who sign up already as juniors and they want to continue with the same program into their senior year. And you would, as I mentioned, do the 2 semesters successfully of related classroom instruction. So you do also need to pass any classes that you're taking in connection with YA, and you do need to be on track for graduation. So you need to be passing the classes that you do have. So this is what one of those checklists look like. So as you go along during the year, you're going to be taking some classes still at school in order to get done with your requirements for graduation. But at the same time, you're going to be working with your employer to get these different skills checked off. So every single different pathway area has one of these checklists. At the beginning, it tells you what are the required skills that everybody in this area is going to do. So if you're in the manufacturing program, regardless of your pathway, everyone is going to do the core skills, the safety, and the manufacturing fundamentals for manufacturing. And then from there, you'll have independent checklists depending on your pathway, whether you're in production, whether you're in operations, or whether you're in maintenance. And this is what one of those individual pathway checklists look like. So there are a certain number of skills that you are required to be taught over the course of your 450 hours. And you're going to be working with a worksite mentor to make sure that you are indeed reaching these skills, and they will check these off. They will basically score you on a quarterly basis as to how you're doing with your checklist, and you need to get at least a 2 out of 3 in order to sign off on that particular skill. On a quarterly basis, you'll be meeting with your employer and your school-based YA coordinator and the regional YA coordinator to sit down and look over this checklist and see where you are with your learning. And then your school-based coordinator will take that information back to your district and translate that into a grade, which will show up on your transcript. So the result of being involved in youth apprenticeship are that at the end of the year, you will be issued a state-issued skills certificate from the Department of Workforce Development every year that you're involved. You will, of course, at the end of your senior year, get your high school diploma because you're going to be on track for graduation and passing your classes. You will have CTE credit, whether that's high school classes, technical college classes that are dual enrollment and taught at the high school, or possibly even technical college classes at the technical college or online classes. You're going to have improved employability skills, and again, those great industry networking connections that you can rely on when you do look for employment in the future. At the end of the YA experience, we highly encourage our employers to offer either summer or full-time employment to our youth apprentices. So in at least 60% of the time, and usually much more than that, students are offered at least summer employment, if not full-time employment, at the conclusion of their experience. And again, you get that real-world experience that looks great on your resume, regardless of where you may work later. So if you have any questions, you can talk to any of your career technical education teachers that are connected to YA. You can talk to your school counselor, or you can email me with any specific questions that you might have. In addition, we have a website, and somehow it skipped over that. So if you're interested, you need to let your either career and technical education teacher know, or your school counselor or your principal, that you're interested in pursuing youth apprenticeship. If you have an idea of the program area that you would be interested in, that would be really helpful. And if you have any specific companies in the area that you would really love to work at, that would be wonderful to know, because that really holds a lot of weight with our local employers when they know that students are really interested in coming to work for them. If you have general program questions, you can go to our CESA 8 website, and we have a tab on our website that is specific to the youth apprenticeship program. And so you can look at the drop down. There's just general youth apprenticeship, about youth apprenticeship for students, employers, and schools. So for you, under the YA for students, it again goes through all those great benefits of youth apprenticeship, your responsibilities as a youth apprentice, but it also links to all of the forms that you're going to need to apply. So once you have determined that youth apprenticeship is for you, and you've contacted your CTE teacher or your school counselor, and you want to apply, all of the forms that you're going to need to print off and fill out and then hand in to your school-based coordinator are all linked right on the website. So thanks a lot for listening today. Again, if you have any questions, please contact me or your school counselor. I hope that this has answered your questions about youth apprenticeship and has intrigued you a little bit and gotten you excited about the possibility of working while you're still in high school to prepare you for your career.